in-depth Sunday special is about Imagine Austin, the city's long-term vision and framework for rapid growth. Suburban cities are planning for the same. Lakeway, Round Rock, and Bee Cave are trying to lure attractive retail stores and restaurants. Meanwhile, business leaders along Congress Avenue in downtown Austin want to boost the area there. Congress Avenue may not quite be what it once was. There's competition from other downtown zones and new developments in downtown Round Rock, the Georgetown Square, the Hill Country Galleria. But folks are moving downtown, so business leaders want to see a return of more retail and restaurants on Congress with cleaner, more welcoming streets.
In the 20s and 30s, Congress Avenue was the retail street of Austin. And obviously had lost some of that momentum over the last 30, 50 years. And so one of the missions here is to really make Congress Avenue the main street of Texas again.
These days, they're making a splash in downtown Round Rock. Along Main Street, you see an eclectic mix of attractive old and new businesses along clean streets. They're thriving. There's something for every taste.
You've got a lot of options here, so you can stay in Round Rock as opposed to driving into Austin.
That's the idea, isn't it?
You bet it is. I mean, shopping local is crucial and really important to the city of Round Rock, and so we love seeing these businesses thrive here downtown.
Have a good weekend.
Take Susan Mendenhall. She opened the Crave Wine Bar and Bistro 4 months ago, and it's going gangbusters. It's not what you might have associated with downtown Round Rock a few years ago.
That was one of the things that we talked about when we opened. It's a place where people can come in and be cozy and not have to go all the way downtown. You know, they can come home on a Friday night.
Downtown Austin.
Downtown Austin, yeah. They can come downtown Round Rock now. That's exactly what we wanted this to be, as a destination. That's actually written in our business plan.
Joining us today is Paul D Giuseppe. He's a principal planner with the City of Austin's Planning and Development Review Department, also a key contributor to the Imagine Austin plan. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
So Imagine Austin is a comprehensive plan. Explain to us what that means and why it's so important.
Well, a comprehensive plan, what's important about it is it identifies and it addresses the community's values for what it wants to become. And earlier you mentioned an important point about it being a blueprint for growth. And traditionally, that's how comprehensive plans have been looked at, and that's what our plan does. But our plan is also a more contemporary plan, in that we also covered newer issues like arts and creativity and schools and education.
And all of these things combine together to make us a successful city. What are some of the challenges that you see us facing?
Well, the community participated extensively in the process, and so there were a number of things the community told us were really important to them. But I think it's important to note, too, that one of the reasons that we're having some of these challenges is due to the growth we're getting. And as you know, we are a very popular city. And so we get a lot of best of lists, and you know, when I travel and mention to people I live in Austin, they always say, wow, I've heard it's a great city. We know about the music, they know about the music scene, they know about the economy. And those are some of the important things that are driving why people are moving here and why jobs are coming here. And so with that comes issues like transportation, which was the #1 issue we heard from the public was, you know, transportation isn't as good as it should be. You know, our traffic is bad. It's also difficult to get around by foot and by bike. In fact, you reported, unfortunately, about that death of a cyclist yesterday. And also transit isn't always, you know, what it could be. Another issue we've heard from the public, of course, is the drought. You know, how do you deal with this multi-year drought and people coming here every day? How do we deal with that? Of course, our rising cost of living is another issue. And then how do you preserve the qualities of life, you know, that we love about Austin, our neighborhoods and some of our iconic businesses? So those are just a handful of some of the issues that we're addressing in the plan.
So you get like 18,000 ideas from the people in Austin. Everyone's going to have their own version of what makes a great city. How is Imagine Austin addressing all of those challenges?
Well, excuse me, fortunately, the public didn't only just tell us what they thought were the problems, they also helped us a lot with the solutions. And so in dealing with some of the solutions I just mentioned, one of the things the public told us about was they wanted what we call a compact and connected city. And in fact, in one of your earlier segments, you talked about communities where people can walk to stores and restaurants where they live. And you're mentioning about Miller development as a good example. And so this plan talks about creating more places like that. How can we redevelop our existing corridors and look at areas where we might be able to create centers that create win-wins for not only the commercial and business aspects, but the adjacent neighborhoods as well. Another thing that the plan tries to, will create has actions for, are improving our transportation. The plan does call for, improving our high capacity transit, such as rail and bus rapid transit, as well as local bus, but also looking at further expanding our bicycle and pedestrian networks, the use of trails and bike lanes and sidewalks, and of course making improvements to the capacity of the road network as well. Another issue, or another solution we're trying to overcome, is the affordability aspect. So we're looking at housing costs and how we can create new types of development that can reduce the cost of housing, such as smaller unit sizes, new technology that will help reduce costs for utilities and so forth.
Well, we could spend all day basically talking about this. We're going to actually revisit the Imagine Austin topic in our next hour, so if we can get you to stick around, we really appreciate it. It's just great information. Paul will be back with us in our 8 o'clock hour.